So we know it, we can say it, it's the R word. Welcome back to eXp RealTV, where we help realtors, buyers, and sellers sell more houses, make savvy real estate decisions, and level up in all areas of your life. So even though we are in the very early stages of this recession, I think it's really important to get the facts, because I know how I felt in the beginning when I didn't know enough about what was going on with this coronavirus. I was thinking everybody was overreacting and what is everybody's problem? And then I went from that to thinking the world was going to end and just getting scared out of my mind. Once I got the facts, once I learned more about what was going on, I felt more in control, and I was able to create my own opinion and decide how I was going to respond to this whole fiasco. And in case you are new around here, please make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications, because if you are into learning what is new, what is going on in this real estate world, this is the place for you. So the big question on everyone's mind is this going to be 2008 all over again or worse? It's very fresh in our mind. I know I lived through it. I know many of you have lived through it. We do not want to go back there. What economists are saying is that this recession is more of an event-based recession, much like the 9/11 dot-com crash back in 2001. Very similar, where people aren't wanting to go out to eat, people aren't wanting to go do extracurriculars or go to the theater or do things, concerts, things like that. Once that whole fear of a terror attack subsided, people got back to life. Versus 2008, when it was the entire infrastructure of our financial system that was crumbling. We had a lot to recover from and correct in terms of that whole recession. But the good news is it's looking more like it was back in 2001. Another big concern on people's minds is this recession going to cause another housing crisis? We just went through 2008, it feels like, and we lost 20% of our home values in that recession. We don't want to go back there. And what I learned is that typically in recessions, home values increase. So in the last 3 of the 5 recessions that our country was in, we actually increased home values. In 1991, we did have a slight decrease, but it was only by 2%. So that really puts things in perspective, that if this is typical to our country, we are actually going to see home values go up. The other big difference between now and 2008 is that people actually have equity in their homes. Before 2008, in the years leading up to it, people were using their homes like ATM machines. People actually took out in equity lines $800 billion to use just however they wanted to use them. Vacations, I don't know, boating. They were just pulling the money out like crazy and just spending it irresponsibly. The good news is that in the past 3 years, homeowners have taken out $200 billion in home equity lines, which is obviously just 25% of what it was prior to that big 2008 crash. Another piece of evidence to prove that we learned our lesson after 2008 is that 37% of homeowners have no mortgage on their home, which is such a beautiful thing. If we do experience a downturn, they are not going to have to worry about losing their homes. And of the remaining 63% of homeowners who do have mortgages, 25% of them have 50% or more equity in their home. If we go through a downturn, they are going to be able to weather that storm, and it's not going to be anything like back in 2008 when foreclosures were sky high. Lastly, the government has our back, which is a beautiful thing. They know that this is not because of any fault of our own. We are just coming out of the strongest economy that our country has ever seen. They put a moratorium on the foreclosures and evictions for 90 days. They're going to give people an opportunity to rebound after this. I would love to know what you think. Do you think that we're going to be weathering this storm for a long time? How do you foresee this going? How are you talking to your clients? If you're thinking about buying or selling, what are your thoughts on jumping in now or not? And if you want to know what I really think as soon as we get healthy again, Americans are going to get back out there and get their butts to work. We do not want to be sitting on our couches. We want to be out there making our big goals, making our big dreams come to life. That is who we are. And this virus, it may be strong, but us American people, we are a lot stronger. I think we all know that. So hang in there, stay positive, stay informed, take care of each other, and I promise we will get through this.